Hello students, how are you all? This is Anup sir, your English teacher from Devasha International Public School. Students, in this video we will understand the poem number 3, Macavity, the Mystery Cat, which is written by T.S. Eliot. So, before we begin with the poem, let me give you a small introduction about this poem. Macavity, the Mystery Cat, written by T.S. Eliot, is a long poem about a criminal and evil cat. The poem describes how he manages to commit all types of crimes and always escapes from being caught by the police. He breaks all the laws, yet the police fails to catch him. He also has some companions in his crime. The poem is light in tone and theme is not serious. It is humorous in nature. We will discuss each stanza in detail, line by line, and also learn the meanings of difficult words. Do you have pet cat? Have you ever noticed anything mysterious about it? It is not easy to say whether every cat is a mystery, but Macavity is one for sure. What is it that makes him a perfect mystery cat? Read the poem and find out. Macavity's a mystery cat. He's called the hidden paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. So, students, the poet says that Macavity is a mystery cat and is known by the name Hidden Paw. The first letters of the phrase mystery cat are written in capital so that name is particular and proper. He is known as Hidden Paw because he is the master criminal and can disobey the law. He is the confusion to the Scotland Yard and pain to the flying squad. Here, Scotland Yard is a branch of the serious and organized criminal command within London's Metropolitan Police Service, and the squad's purpose is to investigate robberies. In other words, he has made the police of Scotland confused because when the police reaches the scene of crime, Macavity, after committing the crime, vanishes away. That means he disappears after committing a crime. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air. But I tell you, once and once again, Macavity is not there. Students, the poet repeats the word Macavity. It suggests that police are searching for him everywhere. According to the poet, there is no one like Macavity as he has broken every human law as well as the law of gravity. Law of gravity here means that no one can vanish away but Macavity does. Macavity's power of levitation, that means vanishing away, can make a fakir. Fakir here means religious man. Stare. Stare means surprise. After committing a crime, he vanishes away. So, When anybody reaches the scene of the crime, he will not be able to find him, though he may search him on the ground below or in the air above. So, the poet tells again that he is not there, it is useless to search for him. Macavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. So, students, the poet introduces him as a ginger cat, as he is tall and thin. One will understand that it is Macavity, that if he sees him, his eyes are sunken in. That means his eyes are deep inside his face. His eyebrows are deeply lined with thought. That is, makes him look like a villain. His head is domed. That means his head is round in shape. His coat is dusty, as he does not keep himself clean. His whiskers are uncombed, and he keeps swaying, that means moving, his head from one side to the other, that are similar to the movements of a snake. When someone would think that he is half asleep, in reality, he is awake and is in a complete sense. Macavity, Macavity, there is no one like Macavity, for he is a fended felon shape, a monster of depravity. For you may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when the crime's discovered, then Macavity is not there. So, students, in this stanza too, the word Macavity is repeated. According to the poet, no one is like Macavity. He is an evil spirit in cat's shape. He is a monster of depravity, that is, he is morally corrupt. One can find and meet him in a by street, that is, a private street, or in the square, that is, a crossroad. But after his crime is discovered, he vanishes away and cannot be found. So, students, this was the explanation of the poem Macavity, the Mystery Cat. Now, once let's take the reading of this poem. Macavity is a mystery cat. He is called the Hidden Paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach to the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He has broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare, and when you reach to the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity's not there. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he's a fended felon shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, the Macavity is not there. Students, this was the reading of the poem Macavity, the Mystery Cat. which is written by T.S. Eliot. Now, let's have a short summary of this poem so that you can understand the poem as a whole. Macavity is a mystery cat because no crime agency was ever able to arrest this criminal mastermind during or after his committing a crime. He is too clever to leave any evidence of his guilt. He is a puzzle for every detective agency in the world, including Scotland Yard and Flying Squad, who are specialized in investigating crime. Whenever they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity is too clever to be caught, and he is now here near at the crime spot. Not only does he breaks the human law, but also breaks the law of gravity. His brows are deeply lined as a result of continuous planning of crime. Macavity has sunken eyes and his head is highly domed. He never combs his whiskers, his movements resembles that of a snake. When you think he's sleeping, he's wide awake in fact. Macavity is a devil in cat shape. He is morally corrupt. You may meet him and see him everywhere, but whenever his crime is discovered, you will not find him there. So, students, this was the short summary of this poem. Now, there are some new words given at the back of this poem. Let's check those words out. Number one, defy. That means disobey or resist openly. Second, Scotland Yard, the headquarters of the London Police Force. Flying Squad, a group of police or soldiers ready to move into action quickly. Next, levitation, floating in the air without support. Find, that is devil. Felon, of or relating to a cat. Depravity, morally corrupt. Now, students, let us discuss the other exercises of this poem. Read the stanza and think. Is Macavity a cat really? If not, who can Macavity be? Answer number 1. Macavity is a cunning cat. Answer 2. If not a cat, he can be expert thief or criminal or a mysterious creature. Complete the following sentences. Number 1. A master criminal is one who can defy the law. Second, the Scotland Yard is baffled because whenever they reach the scene of crime, they cannot find Macavity. Number 3. Nobody can catch Macavity at the scene of crime because Macavity moves much faster than them. A cat, I am sure, could walk on a cloud without coming through. Jules Verne. Which law is Macavity breaking in the light of the comment above? In the light of the comment above, Macavity is breaking the law of gravity. Read stanza 3 and then describe Macavity in 2 or 3 sentences of your own. Macavity is a ginger cat who is very tall and thin, with sunken eyes and brow deeply lined with thought, while its head is highly domed. Its coat is dusty and whiskers are uncombed. It sways its head from side to side and it is always wide awake, even when one thinks that it is half asleep. So, students, this is all about the poem Macavity, the Mystery Cat. Now, I'll be sending you the other exercises of this poem in the notes, so which you will have to write in your classworks. So, students, This is all about the lesson. This is Anup saying thank you and goodbye.